Since I was about 16, I've been reading about medieval history, and I discovered that the secondary sources usually didn't say very much about women at all. In fact, you get the impression there were no women in the Middle Ages. When I was able to get hold of some translated primary sources, though, I found they were mentioning women. So I started to collect women. And I've been doing some reading around the Third Crusade and discovered that women's roles were really not mentioned in the secondary sources. Or when they were mentioned as being totally exceptional, in fact, unusually or un- extraordinarily. But when you looked at the primary sources, there were women there. Although when I'd learned Latin, I discovered that they were often there just in the group people, gens, which is a female noun in Latin. Whereas when people translated that into English, it became usually men, which obviously doesn't include women. So I could see there was a problem with the way these had been interpreted. And about 10 years later, when I was doing my PhD research, I was again coming across women in the military orders who, of course, were involved in the Crusades. And again, the secondary sources were making out there weren't any. But the primary sources, they were there. They were very scattered, but then military orders are very scattered. But they were definitely there. So clearly there was a need for not so much more research on this, but simply for people to notice them. So in view of my teenage self all those years before, I was collecting these women and putting them together.